3.
Hello, and welcome to Sheer Fucking Hubris, a podcast started by three buddies, three Star Trek fans. Sorry, three Star Trek fans.
Air quotes.
I wasn't air quoting, I just kind of giggled a little bit. Who? Damn it, we're not even did it. All right. Sheer Fucking Hubris, a podcast started by three buddies and Star Trek fans who get together and watch an episode of Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Star Trek, the other one, Picard, thank you, each week to discuss it. And this is another episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Sheer Fucking Hubris, where we tell you which of the episodes was good, which was bad, and which one was the other one. I am Joe Bob. Joining me today is Mr. Willie.
Hello.
And, of course, Biblio Warden.
What's up?
What's up is we are almost to the finish line. We just finished our Penis Ultimate viewings of all 30 series, that being the 9th episode of Picard and Disco, and the 12th or 13th episode. The 9th of Picard and Strange New Worlds, and the 13th or so of Discovery.
Lucky number 12.
Lucky number 12. Oh, well, this is, I don't know that I'm going to be sad to see 2 of the 3 seasons go. But, you know what? We'll talk about it. We'll run through it. We'll see how everybody felt about it. So, should we just jump right into it, gentlemen?
Let's go.
All
no
right.
recaps?
Well, yeah. Just jump straight into the recap.
Yeah.
But I was thinking we could mix it up and start with Strange New Worlds this time.
Very well.
I'm kidding. We must always go with the distinguished senior of the group, Star Trek Discovery, season 4, episode 12. I see. So this episode picks up right where the last one left off, outside the spooky field. We head in, and somehow it's inside everybody's eyeballs. And it looks like a big space, like a really well-polished turd, I guess. And
okay,
they decide to send the DOT workers out to fling some of their proteins at it, which they do. And it goes
out there slinging proteins. Where's Lorca when you need him?
Lorca would have. That would have been the. They should have called this maneuver the Lorca Hello. So
we're reading 98% anger and 2% passion. That's the Lorca maneuver.
Oh God, is libido an emotion? So anyway, once the protein gets on the skin, it starts feeling all icky sticky, and it goes abyss creature and shoots out its little water horses and sucks in the DOT workers. And oh no, they're gone. We care because. And then Zora's like, well, that sucks. Now they're coming for me. And so they bloop, and they're in a bubble, and they pull them on into the ooky spooky field with Booker and Reno and Tarka stuck to the bottom like a sucker fish. And
no, like a Jabberwocky.
What? Okay.
Okay.
Or whatever the fuck he called it.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Spat? Jack
Yeah,
Spit?
I don't know. The bird, it does no harm. It takes nothing. It gives nothing.
Yeah, but
And
Tarkus said everything what we were all thinking, which was semantics.
shut
the
the
fuck
fuck
up.
Oh my god. The book's the best friend Tarkus ever had, though. One of the
Yeah.
top two, anyway. That's sad. And so they get in, and just Zora's like, I don't know what's going on. We can't see anything, but we're inside the planet. And it's just like, oh, feels like they're gonna anally probe me. Everybody get down to my shuttle bay. So they run down there, and sure enough, they can now see out the shuttle bay, and Species Tennessee comes in, the Zerg overlords, and they spray their proteins on them, and then they do the Operation Welcome Wagon. Saru's like, I'm not sure they think we're sentient, because why would a sentient species have the shuttle bay door constantly open? But
There
then
was a force field. Maybe.
We've talked about this before. It's such a bad design. Anyway,
Indeed.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm struggling
Good
with
luck.
this one.
Good luck depressurizing that son of a bitch to fling yourself out of the way. Right?
Well, it
That
would happen the
episode was
same.
better than this.
It would. It would happen the same way, though, right? I mean, when you depressurize it, you don't need the
Much less dramatically, though.
much less dramatically. That is true. So anyway, they flash their headlights at him, and the character that we brought along, Discovery's characters are so well developed that they need to keep adding new ones. So we so fully explored all of our crew. So we've got, everybody down there except for Culber, who would probably make sense since he's the one that's been all about feelings and communicating this season. But no, it's Dr. Hirohito, or whatever the fuck his name is, that figures it out. And in the middle of this, this episode continues the long tradition of Discovery of people who should really be in a hurry and should have a real sense of urgency about them, really giving a fuck about the situation. Because right in the middle of it, Saru is like, I kind of don't like the way Tarina talked to me. Do you think she still likes me?
Oh my god.
And Mike is like, Saru, I need you to listen up, okay?
Bitches be crazy.
Because this is she's giving you the Chekhov's cold shoulder. Because this is going to be important in about 15 minutes. Trust me. Cultural context is important. Now shut the fuck up and pay attention. He's like, oh, okay. So they start analyzing it, and they're like, okay. Power math, people. They're so wise, they've dumbed it down to math for us. And so they figure out that AAA is less than AAA. And they flash it back to him. And Willie, didn't you call it that they were going to send something from Sphere?
Of course, that they were going to go into they were going into the sphere. Yeah.
In the meantime, over on the invisible Transformazoid, Tarka's like, it's not going to work. Call our informant. So they call Ndoye, or whatever the fuck her name is. And they're
Doesn't
like,
matter. Yeah.
they're like, hey, we appreciate you being our source of information. Go turn Discovery's warp nacelles into a fucking plasma torch so we can piss these fuckers off. She's like, no, why would I do that? Okay, I'll do that. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Meanwhile, can we talk about how shitty of a sentient computer Zora is if she doesn't even know that Janet Reno's gone, and she can't even figure out, like, it's not even like Ndoye is just like typing. I mean, she was typing there at one point, but like she's talking. How does a sentient ship not know that shit's going on?
I don't know, but
We
once
spent a whole
again,
episode talking about this shit, and then the time that Laura needed to save the crew, although it's going to happen in episode 13, we all know that it's been telegraphed. But the time that she needed to save the crew, she's just falling totally on her ass. But
yeah, remember when they were having the discussion about wouldn't it be terrible if Zora was distracted in a mission critical moment So with Earth and Navarre 5 hours away from destruction, she's like, Dr. Culper, can I talk to you? I'm feeling something not right. Oh, well, tell me about it, Zora, because we don't fucking have anything else to do. She's like, well, something's not right in between Shuttle Bay and my deflector dish. She's like, oh, that's right. You don't have a taint. It's a new experience. You're feeling a draft. She's like, that's it. Let's ask. It's like, maybe we should talk to Reno. He's like, I haven't seen her. Let's talk to Paul. Paul's like, I don't have anything else going on, so sure. I haven't seen Reno, but I'll find her. Like, what have you been doing? So they go to find Reno. Everybody down there's like, we haven't seen her in like a day.
Yeah.
That's
But I'll
sort of
tell you
sus.
what, if Culver could figure out mental problems the same speed in which he can spot a communicator pin in the grating underneath the floor, by God, he'd be a damn good shrink.
I mean,
Boy.
in fairness, we haven't seen Reno all fucking season, so I mean, it's not like she's.
Even the actors didn't think anything about it.
That's amazing. It's all been foreshadowing.
That's right.
They have intentionally left Reno out of full episodes so that no one would care when she's gone.
Oh man.
You know what? I accept that explanation. I will not talk any more shit about them missing Reno. Very nice, Warden. So yeah, they find out. They say, "Well, what was the last thing Reno did?" And she's like, "She played with this hatch over here." And they open it up and they find the nicotine patch. The very physical embodiment of a computer patch. It's just amazing to me. And they take it off, and they're like, "Oh no! Quick, tell him Reno's gone." But all this is pointless because 2 seconds later, Reno's like, "I made a licorice communicator. Everybody, I'm gone." And all that's completely pointless because when
like
she tells him
Zoidberg
that,
walking sideways. Jesus.
both of these revelations are completely pointless because by the time it gets relayed to the bridge, they're both like, Reno's gone. They're like, we fucking know. We see Book and Tarka right here. So I'm like, I don't understand the point. But anyway, back in the shuttle bay, things are going good. Like they've opened communications. And so since things are going good, Ndoye decides, well, time to fuck it up. So she goes to do her thing because I
Did
don't
nobody
know.
think it was suspicious that she just kept like wandering around the shuttle bay the whole time?
What,
Like
did she just left for 10 minutes?
Yeah,
That's
she just
like the
randomly
most
pop up and then
critical
leave.
moment in Earth's history. She was just
Yeah,
like,
and then
I'm just gonna go stretch the old legs for a
Yeah.
minute. And then she
Hey,
comes back
I'd
right
like you
as
to
they're
come with us. Oh no, I'm good. Peace
right as
out.
they're like, oh yeah, well, you did leave very suspiciously there a few minutes ago, so I'm sure you have important things to be doing that are not related to saving your goddamn planet.
Oh boy.
They get in. So they get in and they're like, are we back on the bridge? No. Like, well, maybe we should send them something. Well, maybe first they were like, let's send them back some math. That was how they communicated. And they're like, what should we send? They're like, Saru's like, how about us? Plus 69
Carbon.
equals happy. And they're like, no. And then Saru's like, wait, that's right. It lacks cultural context. You told me that would be important, Mike, and now it is. Excellently written, Mr. Chekhov. They get on the bridge, and then all of a sudden there's a bomb on the bridge, the fake bridge, inside the sphere. And the bomb equals confused. They're like,
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
yeah, right, yeah. Oh, yeah, first they give them the... Thankfully, we were able to shield ourselves behind these heavy iron pipes.
Oh, man.
Willie is determined to sidetrack me as I'm doing my best to piece this piece of shit episode together. Oh my god. Yeah, so they beam the bomb on board like it's Kronos or something. And they're confused, and Saru's like, this is the equation for a butthole. It's like, and Burnham's like, no, it's the DMF. He's like, I was going there. So like, well, send them send them back something that says us plus butthole equation equals sad face. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. But how do we tell it's us? They're like, use the atmosphere. Brilliant. So they use the 79% oxygen, whatever, 20% nitrogen, yada yada. Get ready to send it back to them. But in the meantime, President Ndoye has very, very easily commandeered Discovery's controls and begins to turn the warp core into a Roman candle and cuts open a hole just big enough for Tarka and Book to escape. However, it's just Tarka flying the ship now because while Reno was chewing on her licorice, she got a look at Tarka's math because he holds it up right in front of her so that she can see it because the plot said she needed to. She's like, hey, it ain't going to work. You can ask him. He'll never admit to it, but just
The
look
math
into his
won't make
eyes.
sense, but look at his eyes.
However, she was wrong because Book said, what is this bullshit? He's like, so I'm going to kill a few people. You caught me. Book's like, no, we were never supposed to do this. Oh my God, could this be my redemption arc? Tarka's like, it's too late for your fucking redemption arc, Book. If they redeem you after all of this bullshit, they will be the biggest writing hacks in the goddamn universe. It's like, I'll be doing the galaxy a favor by destroying Earth if this is the way they write shows. Oh, and then he punches Book with energy or some bullshit like that, and Book's in the clink with Jet Reno. And Tarka's headed to pull the plug on the DMA that'll destroy all the Tennessee and turn Earth into toxic waste, blah, 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 blah. It's so bad.
Oros must have given the universe's best blowjob, is all I'm saying. For what this guy is going through to try and get back to him, that is the only reasonable explanation.
Well, he only has 2 friends in the whole universe. One of them was Book, so it made him sad to betray him. Tarka, as soon as they establish it, I think the only reason Discovery establishes character traits is so that the characters can turn around and act opposite of them. It's like Tarka's, he's not been whatever. Did I miss anything in the recap that was important?
Nothing substantive, I don't think.
No, I think you're pretty set. I mean, except that we put together a team of experts for First Contact so that we can beam the no-names off the bridge down there to figure out the problem.
Oh yeah, it
Literally,
was like,
one of them is a no-name. This comms guy, he hadn't even been here, but like for 2 episodes because Bro Hura's off getting ready to start Star Trek call center.
I know,
But
right?
it's like
That's
if
what
you're
I'm
gonna
talking
do it,
about.
at least just keep the people you've got.
That was
You
what I was
know?
talking about. That was why I was making the joke about Discovery has developed these characters so well, we've fully explored them. So, like, instead of having Culber there, we've got Dr. What is his name? I want to
Doesn't
say
matter.
Hirohito, but it's
Doesn't
Dr.
matter.
Harai.
Azaro.
me. Dr. what?
Harai.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
All right, I didn't want to be quote unquote racist. And, you know, instead of having Bryce around, we've got, I don't know, Dollar Tree Bryce. And and we beam them down so that we can be like, all right, we're really short on time, so you guys better get your 5 seconds of character background and expository bullshit in very quickly this time. And
And
he's
then
like,
beam
oh,
out.
yep,
We
and
don't have
then
time for you to walk. We
and
did get
then
another
Lorca
slow walk
maneuver.
scene. We got another slow walk scene though, approaching the shuttle bay.
Oh, I
So
did leave out one thing. Right at the fucking climax of the, you know, the most tense moment where we're first meeting the 10 Cs, Burnham is like, hey, Saru, let's fuck off for a minute over to this ready room or side room, whatever, janitor's closet in the shuttle bay and say, feeling really tense. He's like, well,
feel
just
like I'm
give me a
losing
big
control.
give me a big old beller, Burnham. She's like, what? He's like, and she roars back, and then they laugh in the most misplaced scene.
I feel like I've had 4 seasons right in the palm of my hand. And this one's slipping through my fingers. That's all right, Mike. Don't worry about it.
It's almost like, was that scene supposed to happen? Was that just weird editing? Because I think they were in the shuttle bay when it happened, but it looked like they went to the ready room, and they definitely weren't showing any sense of urgency. Not that
Yeah.
that can be used to tell what's going on around them, because not big on urgency with disco.
Did do you think Glenn watched Dune before this episode? Because this definitely looked like the fuckers who fold space, who floated up to the shuttle bay.
Spice Navigators.
Yeah, and then Tarka had on like the 1980s version of the Dune shield, where like just a block pops up around him when you try and shoot him. But
I think
kudos
I
kudos
think
to
they
Book for
watched.
just plugging away at it. I
Yeah.
mean, jeez.
Oh, he's like, I might have made a mistake. Oh shit, you dumb. Buck's a dumb asshole this season, and I hate it for him because he was a highlight last season. Oh my god. But Willie, I think they watched Dune. I think they watched Independence Day. I think they watched Sphere. I think they watched The Abyss.
I'm trying to remember that there's a new movie. Dude, what's it called?
Mario.
We get some Alien 3 action later on in the show too. Anyway,
So Willie, what would your pick? Let's see. We could do the good, the bad, or the sheer fucking hubris. Why don't you do the good for this episode?
all right, I'll give it to him. This was the closest thing to a Star Trek dilemma that I have seen in a Discovery episode in a long time. I felt like, now, don't get me wrong, they still discovered the fuck out of this episode, but it was probably one of the best Discovery episodes from a Star Trek, where we got to figure out a problem, how to communicate, how to do something. It was probably one of the things that was closest to that recipe that I've seen, maybe since Jacob. So, in that regard, I actually thought that I was like, the whole figuring out the communication thing and the way to talk to him, even though we still had to let Michael Jesus Burnham be the one who figured it out. What's the point in bringing all these people to be collaborative to then not be collaborative? But anyway, that's Discovery's MO. But I would say the good for me was I did feel like I was watching something akin to a Star Trek episode.
And
I will go ahead, Warden.
I was just going to say I agree with that.
Well, we're all in agreement. I honestly couldn't believe that the writers were that clever with the communication thing, because I thought that when they're like, how are we going to signal us in math? And they're like, do the atmosphere that they created for us, because they obviously read our biology to create the perfect atmosphere. So if we send that back to them, they'll know that means us. I mean, like, that is really clever.
It was. Now, letting Michael Burnham spout off exactly to the 0.04% what it was pretty eye rolling again. But it's Discovery, right? It's still an episode of Discovery. And there's one other good. I have one other good.
Arrival. Is that the other one?
That's the other movie I was thinking of, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
The other good that I would say is Janet Reno's 15-second character building exposition felt the least stilted and the most in context of any of the ones that we've gotten so far.
Absolutely.
Because it's actually what you would do in a hostage situation, right? And it was we knew that she'd been on this medical ship, all that. Like, it wasn't, they just didn't just beam in the story right there. Like, you could actually be like, oh yeah, the Hiawatha, that was the ship that was crashed that she was on when they found her in
Mm-hmm.
And
season
he was
2.
trying to keep all the
Yeah,
crew alive at the
but
time, and
she
she had
but
talked
she was
about
an
losing his wife
engineer.
before.
Yep. So I felt like that was, and it was probably the fact that it was. Well, I don't know that the other people on this show are poor actors and actresses, but I felt like she delivered it in the least stilted way of all the ones that we've gotten so far.
Well, but it was also relevant. It wasn't
Right.
just thing happens. Oh, this sort of reminds me of my backstory, and let me tell you a story that doesn't mean anything. Like, oh, I came from a village that was wiped out by a hurricane. Oh, my daddy didn't hug me or whatever the fuck it was with Detmer. It was, hey, I can see part of me in you. And this is what I was doing, and this is what I think you're doing. So, like, it actually caused Book to think about his actions.
Mm-hmm.
So it was relevant instead of just thrown in there. So we can say we developed, and I am air quoting there, developed a character. So,
Yep. So
holy shit, Warden.
the fact
Willie
that I
has given
gave this
2
2 goods, that's it.
genuine compliments.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm stunned. But I mean, it's fair.
You won me over, Discovery. It
Well,
took you damn near 4 seasons, but you finally got me in your corner.
that was Willie's arc for the season. Was coming around on Disco.
All right, well, it's time to throw a bomb in it next episode then.
Well, I guess
No pun intended, because that's apparently what we're gonna fucking do anyway. So
Warden, what is your bad?
Oh, um. Oh, I'm trying to find it because my brain is like scrambled. Um.
I can give you mine.
Go
much
ahead.
like Zora's
That
whole
helps.
detection system.
I thought that that Ndoye just with no real having to be convinced, turning from like, okay, I'll keep you appraised of what's going on, to like flat out saboteur and committing essentially, I don't know. I mean, she's not part of the Federation, so it's almost an act of war.
Right.
Just on a dime was pretty terrible, and
It
I
shouldn't
also
be
hate
that
what they're doing with
familiar.
Tarka.
Shouldn't be that familiar with Discovery either, right? To just randomly do it. It's like getting on a German battleship and knowing exactly what to go do. You know.
I think
But
it may have been that Book told her how to do it, but still, it's like, maybe it's like, use Michael's combination. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Ndoye's like, amazing. I have the same combination on my luggage.
you make that joke, but doesn't that happen in Strange New Worlds this week?
It does. It does. It's
Oh
2, 4,
man.
6, 8. Pike's hair is really great, but it's pretty close.
Oh man. 1, 2, 3,
Um,
4, 5. That's a combination idiot would have on his luggage.
President Scroob. She was she was there, but she didn't do a goddamn thing this episode. Anyway. Oh, next episode is gonna be we'll still end up making friends with the Tennessee.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll all get back home safely. They'll pull the DMA back.
They're gonna be like
Tarka's gonna die at Oros's arms.
Mike Burnham's gonna send the Tennessee like Tarka's genetic makeup and then take a shit and waft it to the Tennessee so that they know that she thinks Tarka's a pile of shit. And that'll be how they communicate that.
What if what if what if Zora stays because she's like the embodiment of all the history of the universe and of humankind and all that, and so she's like the bridge between their two civilizations. And that's also how they keep the sphere data safe, since apparently for 3 seasons we forgot, or 2 seasons we totally forgot that that's what we've been trying to do, is keep the sphere data safe. So we could literally put it behind I'd say a firewall, but it was clearly water that was reaching out, grabbing all these people. But
I don't
anyway,
know what. I told you they weren't going to
I
let
still
Parker
think it's
find
going to
his
be
buddy.
bugged. They're going to. They've got to.
They aren't. They aren't. They've pushed him past redemption in this episode. Now he's just going to become bad guy now. I will bet you. I don't think they're going to let him find his buddy. What do you think,
See,
Warden?
Go ahead, Warden.
I think they're going to make it ambiguous.
See, I just don't think Discovery can resist it. These writers cannot resist something so superficial. Anyway,
I think they're going to feel like they're being clever and make it ambiguous. Like, did he? Didn't he? We don't know.
I mean, logic states that you wouldn't introduce this whole subplot and meet Oros if you weren't going to go somewhere with it. So I'm saying that they're not going to go anywhere with it. I think he's just going to be bad, and he'll be like, "No, I didn't get to dunk my Oreos in my milk." And then they'll be like, "Look, you were so great. You turned back at the last moment, even though you were like 14 steps beyond the point of no return. Still accept you, Book." And then then President Screw will be like, "No, we can't do that." And Burnham will whisper cry like, "Didn't you learn the value of second chances? And how we have to be open and feel and blah, 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 blah." I'm glad this show is ending. I wish it were ending after one more episode instead of one more season, but it's...
I don't know. I mean, we're going to get a proper finish next year.
It will be a happy ending. It'll be just as messy, but...
Oh, boy.
Having said all that, now that I've shit on it, best episode of the season, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Possibly best episode in several seasons. I mean, I'm seriously trying to remember the last time I watched a Discovery episode and felt like I'd watched a reasonable Star Trek facsimile.
I would need to go back and rewatch the Seed Vault episode, because what drags the A plot on this episode, solid all the way through. It's everything that's not directly related to Michael Burnham. Can't believe I just said that. That drags the show down.
Yeah.
So I would want to go back and watch the Seed Vault. And even though I agree, even though I liked the first couple of episodes, well, the first episode of season 3 was good, but it didn't feel like a Star Trek episode. The second one, where they fought against sentient ice, it had a little bit of a Star Trek feel to it. It was pretty good. Plus, we met Space Joe Diffie for the first time. Rest in peace. I'll say this for season 4. It's been terrible. But I'm not finished. It's been terrible. But it has the potential to be the only season to finish on a high note. To get
true.
better as the season goes on. So I'm a little bit interested in what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek Discovery, season 4, episode 12. High C, species Tennessee. Say hi, everybody. All right. Moving on to Star Trek Picard, season 2, episode 9. Hide and seek. Okay, this episode picks up where we left off like 4 episodes ago, because fuck all has happened since then. With the exception of Girardi actually starting to beam mercenaries and Borg-infested mercenaries. And I'm going to tell you what, if you have me place bets on an octogenarian armed with a 60-year-old Luger against an elite mercenary killing squad enhanced with Borg nanotechnology. I lost my money because that didn't go down the way that I thought it should have.
Well, no, it went down exactly how it should have because we've turned Soong into like a Bond villain who stands there and pontificates instead of just shooting people.
How did he
Here,
not get
I'll just
shot?
go back and get my gun. I'll come out and shoot them. Bang, they're dead. God, you just don't get it, do you? You don't. Like, I mean, this whole episode was Soong just walking around playing a Bond villain.
At one point, he just walks in between two sides that are actively shooting at each other. And it's like, Picard, there's no difference between us, captain of industries and captains of starships. Just come on.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Talk about a character who's been pushed past his redemption arc. I mean, nothing he can do at this point. So,
Okay, so this episode starts with them beaming in. Meanwhile, let's see. Help me out. How does this episode start? I thought
it
they're beaming
starts with
in.
Rios is on the ship, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then he looks out the front and sees them all beaming into the vineyard because if you're going to beam in, I mean, why beam onto the ship?
Yeah,
And
that one makes sense.
so he's like, "Quick, run!" And like we just
Where?
cut scene, like, and then he just pops up where he
Look,
needs to be.
cutscene is an important tactic in this episode. Like, when it gets to be too much for even their bullshit Deus Ex Machina, they're like, cut.
Yeah. So they cut scene.
What are Picard and I'm trying to remember where Picard is at the beginning of this, because let's see. Seven and Seven and Rafi found him, right? And are like, we got to get back. Girardi's going back. We got to get back to the chateau. And Picard's like, we must defend this house. I'm like, why the house?
At all costs.
He's like an Under Armour commercial from the 2000s. We must defend this house. And I don't really remember why. But anyway, the super highly trained mercenaries start coming in, and they turn on their little laser sights, and I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. They're doing like a reference to the old.
It was the best Borg
thing.
callback. It was the best part of the episode.
And I'm like,
the laser got it aiming.
I was like, oh, it's a shame they're going to turn that off because it makes no fucking sense when you have like stealth advantage and you're obscured in the woods and people are shooting at you. You're like, have those lasers giving away your exact position, but made it really easy for Laris to shoot them. This episode had a lot of people like leaving perfectly good weapons laying around. I don't know if you noticed that, but like, Seven shoots Rafi at some point, or Seven and Rafi have a chance to like pick their disruptor back up, and they're let's take ice picks and corkscrews instead. And they beam mercenaries into the wall later. They're all holding guns, and everybody just leaves them. Like, we don't need that. Anyway,
boy, isn't that gonna throw the archaeologists off when they find that shit? People beamed into the wall.
I don't want to hear a goddamn word about not making butterflies after this episode. I want to hear from any one of you fuckers on this mission because you have all fucked the pooch on that one.
Boy.
Every single goddamn one of you has just. I mean, we have. Not there yet. So somehow Girardi. All right, so Seven and Girardi. Borg Girardi, BJ gets back to the Serena, and Rios manages to escape. And she's starting to take over, Girardi's like, I can't do it. I locked you out. It's like, what? I'll just pull the codes from your mind. She's like, nope, I did it without learning it. I put it into
a hologram. What? None of this made any sense.
An emergency security hologram. And I'm like, if you could still create those, why don't you create like an army of them? And
Mhm.
she's like, and I based it on the one person that I knew would never get caught.
Yeah, I was like, oh
Hell no.
god, it's Elrod.
Like they just really could not figure out anything for this actor to do. But apparently he signed on for like 5 episodes and it was in his contract. Like,
I
why?
turned to my wife when he showed up. I turned to my wife. I said, "I swear to God, if he goes and gets his sword, I'm going to turn it off."
Why? You
And
knew it was coming.
I know, but he's over there like slamming lockers and shit. Like, be a little discreet, you know?
Oh, I know, right?
Like,
Why would a security hologram, why would you base it off like anybody? Why wouldn't you be like, except I want it based off like every badass, not
yeah,
just this
I
one.
want it. I want it off the robot and RoboCop at the, you know, like give me something legit. But
Mhm.
no, we get Elnor because he's got to talk to Rafi for her redemption arc.
Right.
Um,
And
so
oh
I'm
boy.
I'm
Oh
still
boy.
a little fuzzy. I'm still a little fuzzy. So we put the codes into the hologram's brain
Even
and
though
then
that
made him running around, even though it's still a part of the ship.
yeah,
And
exactly. If you can put it into the ship to make an emergency hologram, isn't it somewhere in the like I don't understand this at all. Maybe she put it on a USB and handed it to the security hologram and it's like in his pocket physically. I don't know. This
no, it's
makes
not because
no
all he does is close his eyes and give us fucking 3D vision,
Mhm.
and then boom, it's unlocked.
this
Yeah.
is so dumb. This whole show has been a fucking train wreck. It is so much worse than Discovery, and again it shocks me. But anyway, that's what's happening on La Serena, back on the ship. I mean, back at the Chateau Picard 7. Oh, this octogenarian and two, menopausal women are holding off 18 highly trained mercenaries with augmented with Borg technology. Picard's like, we have to go to the catacombs. And he starts getting flashbacks. We start doing the same fucking thing that we did a few episodes ago where he's having the flashbacks again. And so we can see Mama like, Jean-Luc, let's go play hide and seek. He's like, no, Mama, too old for hide and seek.
I
Let's
was
go.
just think, I mean, this was appropriate. I guess a 3-year-old isn't a reliable child actor, so we have to cast a 12-year-old playing a 3-year-old. Is
I
that what
know.
we've done here?
I don't know. But he's like, I'm too old for hide and seek. Let's play hangman instead. And she's like,
No,
Jean-Luc,
oh jeez,
spoilers.
Damn.
oh jeez.
Um, oh, they're running through the basement, and or at
And they're
least
like,
Picard and
wait,
Laris are,
I've
but
been here before. Yeah.
Rafi and Seven in the meantime are like, we got to take La Serena.
Oh yeah, because if we split up, we've got double the chances. And I'm like,
That's not how that
what?
math works.
It's not. No.
That's not how that math works. Somebody needs to be like, Picard, are you getting senile? Meanwhile, the other part of the math is if we have another person who's our most capable person, by the way, Rios with us, who's been grazed by a bullet, there's no, and he'll just get us
We'll
all
never
killed.
make
I'm
it.
like,
Yeah. Oh, how about
everything depends on it. But
I love
anyway,
when he's hacking into the transporter and it's like 20%, 40%,
come on,
60%,
come on.
80%, and then it's like, fuck, he's not done with his dialogue. 95%. Like, what? Are
Meanwhile,
you kidding me?
Well,
Dr.
I mean,
Caliente's like, stay with me, Rios. And he's
Uh,
like,
yeah,
no, I can't. But even though I told you they're going to end up making Rios stay in the fucking past. And it's going to piss me off because he's my favorite character. But anyway, meanwhile, Rafi and Seven decide to just go full Butch and Sundance. And like, I guess we got to just make a run for it. She's like, we'll never make it. And I'm like, I know. Well, after this is over, don't say that.
that was not an LGBTQ plus IA friendly comment, Joe Bob.
And Butch and I wasn't even trying to make a lesbian pun.
Oh, my
Good
bad.
job, Willie.
Yeah,
Good
I gave
job,
you too
Willie.
much credit.
Well done. No, it was literally like the end of Butch and Sundance where they're
Mhm.
and like we're pinned in, there's nothing we could do. I was like, are we gonna fade to black on this shit? But no, we cut. They show them like running, like one shot of them running through the field, surrounded by people, shooting at them out in the fucking open.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well they're dead. And
Try,
then we
trying to
cut
get
to
the
something else,
achievement for firing no bullets in a mission. So
and then we cut back to them, and they got to the ship with just like a little bit of blood. And she's like, Eleanor. He's like, no, I'm a security hologram. Like, but I just got to tell you, I'm like, please, God, Rafi, do not take this critical moment to unload some of your bullshit baggage onto something that's just a collection of, hard light constructs that's not going to make anything. And she's like, let me bullshit. I'm like, God
yeah,
damn
I,
it.
I
And he's
mean,
like,
how did he have his memories anyway? Like, did we send in the melon ballers to extract his memories?
he didn't have the
When
memories.
he did.
No, he said, he, I thought I thought he was the ship because he's like, I saw what like Elnor's eyes, and there was only love
No,
in them.
no. He goes. Even though I'm not Elnor, I share his like final moments and his thoughts and his brain hole.
I thought
Go
he meant
back
he
and
shared them as in he was
mm,
present.
Mhm.
no,
Oh my
no.
God,
I did not understand it that way. I think it was like he somehow uploaded his consciousness into the hologram.
Jesus Christ! Maybe when they put him in the ship's morgue, they like jacked into his skull or something and plugged a USB in. I don't know, but anyway, Rafi's such a piece of shit because he's just like, I know that he loved you and trusted you, and that was the important thing. I'm like, no, that's the whole reason. That's what manipulators take advantage of. Of course, he still loved you and trusted you. That's what fucked him. That's what makes you such a piece of shit. Because it's not redemption, Rafi. You are a goddamn horrible person. Like
No, but she spent the whole episode complimenting Seven too, telling her she'd have been a
oh,
great
yeah, he'd have been a
captain.
great captain.
Yeah. A captain of industry or a captain of a starship? Because
Oh,
I'm a little fuzzy here.
She's like, yeah, oh yeah, and Seven's like, well, I tried, but apparently Borg need not apply. And Rafi's like, oh my God, check your white privilege, bitch. But anyway, they
Oh
make it
man.
there, but then BJ stabs her with her little. She goes full Doc Ock the way she did at the beginning in the very first episode and stabs Seven through the gut. And Rafi's like, and then she's about to kill her completely dead when Girardi's like, wait, what if we did the Borg, but we
Oh
did a
my
nice
god.
Borg? I was like, are you
We are. Yeah,
what?
we're doing this. We're doing it.
What? We're gonna do the Borg where they're like, we will
Oh,
add your technological and biological distinctiveness to your own. Okay,
yeah, we're
if
doing
you're
the
cool.
fucking Davy Jones off Pirates of the Caribbean here. Jesus.
You know what
yeah.
it reminded me of? I don't remember which Will Ferrell movie it is. Where his character gets fired and they're like, what are you gonna do, Will Ferrell's character? And he's like, I don't know, maybe thought about being a drug dealer, but not like a main drug dealer. Just like, hey man, you want some crack? If not, that's cool. Like, which movie is that?
I have no idea. Oh man.
But anyway, I just
I just loved like the half stabs, like like I
I
like how did they resist not having the Borg Queen like put another hand on it, like try and push down? Oh boy, kind of like how they had to tag team stab the mercenary.
oh my god! So that's happening, and basically, I I I think the resolution is the Borg Queen's just like, okay, we could do that because Girardi's like, the reason you always lose is because you don't ask for consent, and the Borg Queen's like, I can do consent. We'll get. I thought it made me weak, but really it makes me strong. but I still need the ship. And they're like, okay, well, you can take the ship.
A
'cause
life for a ship.
no butterflies, right?
The life of the person who's been saying the entire season, she's the fucking Borg queen. Don't do anything that's going to perpetuate her being the Borg queen. And then we decide to trade her life for the ship.
I did think it
Like,
was funny when Girardi opened up
Seven would have
the.
totally been like, just let me die. Do not let the Borg queen escape.
Oh yeah,
But
she also would have been like, just let me die. Don't let her reassimilate me. But they
yeah,
did, and somehow they reassimilated her in the
the
exact.
exact same way.
Apparently, repairing a gut shot requires the exact same Borg prosthetics as.
Mhm.
You know what? They already had them in the makeup trailers, so fuck it. Just slap them on there. Anywho, butterflies be goddamned. We're giving the Borg Queen a ship from 400 years to get a 400-year head start because I guess it's going to take longer to ask people. And she says, give Picard a message. 2 Renees. 1 dies, 1 lives.
Well, it's
Like,
okay though, because she's going to spend 400 years warping to the Delta Quadrant. Right? Wasn't that the whole problem with Voyager? Was it was going to take like 100 years to warp back to Earth?
yeah, but they didn't have these writers, so they can get there.
Oh, okay.
They can just
My
slingshot
B.
around the sun. I did think it was funny when the Borg Queen, when BJ opened the casket morgue. What do you call this? What do you call little refrigerators that you put the stiffs on in the morgue?
I don't know, serving trays. I don't know.
I figured
Serving
Warden
tray.
would know. Yeah. Anyway, the TV trays.
Yeah,
They're like
I have
frozen
no
dinner.
idea.
That makes sense. Anyway, so she opened up the TV tray and she's like, "Oh, sister, you have looked better." Well, that's pretty funny. Meanwhile, Picard and Girardi are still running through the basement, and she's like, "Wait, I saw this in your head." I was like, "Yes, it's from the past." She's like, "Don't leave me hanging, Picard." It's like, what? No, don't say that. Anyway, we get full story on Picard's memory. He unlocked the door, and she was like, "Thank you. Remember to look up next time you go in the skylight room. I'll be up there shining, and remember me happy like this."
Yeah, not like a dying star, but a fucking pedantic one. Like,
Oh my god!
I can't believe we actually saw somebody hang themselves on a Star Trek episode. Was
I
I?
can't.
I swear I thought I'd changed the channel and was watching a Quentin Tarantino movie at
Hmm.
some point because this was not Star Trek. But
I can't believe she pulled it off with the shitty knot she tied. It was not a
yeah,
noose.
all she did was wrap it around it. Why was there? I got a question though. All right. She gets up out of bed. She walks in there. She basically walks straight up into the rope. Like this was clearly pretty planned out. Nobody saw the rope and the stool sitting there because she just bebops right up in there and does it. There was no
Well,
prep time or anything.
she went by and asked Delmar for a length of rope.
Delmar. That wasn't that wasn't Delmar. That was Shawshank.
What's his name? I can't remember.
Oh, fuck.
God damn it! The one that liked to
Ha-
listen to Hank Williams.
yeah, Hadley.
No, Hadley was
Uh,
the cop that
yeah, you're right.
or not the cop. You know, the not the
The,
warden, whatever you call
one
it,
of the prison guards. Yeah,
the
he was a
corrections
prison guard.
officer that was going to throw him off the roof.
Yeah. Oh well, I know
God
who
damn
you're
it.
talking about.
But
Yeah,
yeah, why
got him a
wouldn't she?
length of rope. Yeah, why wouldn't
And you
I?
gave it to him. Jesus, remember Brooks Hadlin? That's a good movie.
That is a good movie.
Should we stop this show to go watch? I guarantee it's probably on TNT or TBS or USA right
Somewhere.
now.
Somewhere.
Do those channels still exist? Showing my age with my Shawshank is on basic cable right now.
They do. They
They
do.
do.
Oh man.
I have completely lost my fuck. Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
she hung herself because he
Yeah.
unlocked the door. Because talking about manipulation, I mean, holy shit! It way to fuck up a kid with what all the shit she was saying to him. Jeez.
Hayward.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, not Delmar. Delmar's old brother.
Delmar's old brother were out there. You turned
Yeah,
him into a horny toad.
I even need to say that movie's better than this.
No, we all know it is.
And Picard, in the meantime, I guess he's picked up the power up that makes your bullet split into 3 because he throws a rock and it manages to break 3 separate skylights.
Mhm.
Whatever. But we don't really do anything with that, right? He just does that. They beam. He turns around. All of a sudden, the security detail gets beamed into the walls in another
But
horrific
nobody
death.
thinks anything about it. He's just like, "Whoa, fuck," and then just keeps running.
No, he's not like, well, fuck. He's like, guess that means we're back in charge of the ship,
Oh yeah,
baby.
that's right.
I was like, God damn. It was like a fucking 80s action movie with fucking one-liner shit.
Yeah, I like where he's like, all right, left to the chateau, right to the vineyard, and then you see the lasers pop up. He's like, go! I'm like, what? Like, be
Yeah.
quiet for fuck's sake.
And then he picks up his Luger and picks off a few Delta Force guys
Oh, jeez.
who can't hit his shambling 80-year-old ass. Oh, like
He's a
look,
golem. He is. He's like the $6 million man. Give him some slack.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
What's
sure
that?
we've even forgotten about that. You know.
What's that other berry? Need to get to the ship? Okay. So yeah, he picks off a couple and then just throws the gun down because I guess it's out of bullets and there's not more around. And then Thung steps out in the middle of a firefight and does his Captain of Industry speech, and I don't
understand it.
Mhm.
I don't even
Tell you
remember
what,
how that resolved.
I'll tell you. Oh, he just ran. He's like, "You'll have to come and find me," because they were
Oh yeah,
playing
oh that
hide
was
and
at the
seek.
beginning,
Yeah, it
right?
was
Yeah.
early in the episode.
But
No,
no, then at
this
the
is
end
where
he's like,
Stone walks into the planetarium or
yeah, and he's like,
whatever.
I've watched enough rats go through mazes to know
Yeah,
you don't go for the rat, you go for the cheese. Like,
and I
shut the
want
fuck
to be
up.
like, motherfucker, if you'd been experimenting on rats, you might not have been in this shape. No, you were growing human beings in that maze of yours. It's a
It's
more fucked up situation.
I think Soji is done. I don't think she's gonna show up. I think there's
Nah,
still
she'll be
so
back.
much to wrap. You guys realize Q wasn't even in this episode? The whole impetus of this season and like potentially a focus of it. And I guess we're gonna have some more Renee. You know what I
Oh wait,
wonder?
I was trying to remember. Wasn't his nephew that burned in Generations Alive named Renee?
Yeah, and I was just about to ask, where the fuck was Robert in all this?
Who was Robert?
His
Robert was
brother.
his brother. I can't
Oh,
believe that Robert, when Picard was all like, they turned me into a weapon. I'm like, yeah, kind of like mom turned you into her own, Dr. Kevorkian. I don't
it's a
think
good
these writers
question.
have watched Star Trek.
It's a good question.
Although, we'll say this. I'll give them props for this. Picard did say, I used to picture her as an old woman offering me tea. Because in one of the Star Trek episodes, he had when they were seeing shit for some reason, he saw Maman offering him tea as an old woman. So
I don't remember that. I'll
I
take
remember
your
it
word
because it
for it.
was a Star Trek customizable card game dilemma. But
Fuck you. Don't even bring that shit up. God.
again,
Talking
not the
about
place
childhood,
to
working
not
through
to.
childhood traumas.
Well,
Ugh.
it is. You're right. It is the theme of this bullshit. Anyway,
So anyway, so we're gonna go
what was
build a
the?
better Borg, but she still gets the ship, and so now they're all on foot, but they're all right beside each other again, and now they're gonna walk off because I have totally lost track of time. Like 2 episodes ago, the mission was 15 hours away. We've been through at least one day night cycle, right?
No, it was 15 hours before they went into quarantine, right? And then like a 2-day
Right.
quarantine.
Right.
Uh, I don't know, but if you think about it, you had the nighttime gala, right? And then they had the whole daytime. And now we've already been back into one nighttime, and now we're back into another daytime.
Yeah, I think the Europa mission launch is like is the upcoming day or tomorrow.
Had light on the third day. Look to the east. I thought that shit when I was like, a red sun rises. Blood has been spilled this night.
Yeah, so here's what's it's so stupid. This I
Oh man.
guess are they going is Q gonna like split Renee into two so that like you can
No.
create both timelines? Because now you have to I mean you've got to preserve this timeline with the fucked up with the happy Borg, the communist Borg or whatever the hell they are. But you got to set the timeline back right to get to La Serena at the beginning. But there's got to be a separate universe for this other happy Borg to be coming through, right? So you've got to now preserve both timelines, right?
Maybe she tries to like beam down to the Europa, but her pattern somehow gets reflected back down. So one Renee gets back to the ship and the other Renee stays on like the Europa moon. Does that sound familiar? You think something like that could work?
I'm about the second chances episodes TNG with Thomas Riker.
Exactly.
I don't know. This is
I
this is a
mean,
train wreck.
isn't Talon like disguising her ears? Doesn't that indicate that she could do some sort of holographic disguise?
You think Talon's gonna fake being Renee?
Sure.
I mean, I'll
No.
give you a cookie if you're right.
I hope not. I don't know how they're going to tie this up. We have so many loose ends. Also, was your assumption that the Borg in episode 1 came from a different universe or a parallel universe? I thought that was just like a transwarp conduit that she
No.
popped through.
Yeah, my assumption is that the Borg at the beginning came from whatever fucked up timeline we've created. Because, like I said,
There's
butterflies
yeah.
be damned. We've created a whole new group of Borg 400 years early. We've killed like 3 dozen people.
Yeah, that Borg the Borg queen in that beginning of this, that's gotta be Girardi.
Do you think? Do you
Yeah.
think when they see each
Oh,
other,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's Girardi. Do you think when they see each other, it's gonna be like Back to the Future 2, where they both just faint?
No,
No.
because once she gets back, she'll know it's her. Right? No, Girardi won't be there.
No,
Or
Girardi's on the
will she?
bridge.
Yeah, but you
She
think they'll
was
bring
on the
Girardi back? You think
she
there'll be
was
2 Girattis?
she was on the bridge in that first episode.
But she also went back with them. See,
She'll
this
be
is going to
there.
be one of those messy time travel alternate dimension bullshits that I don't think Girardi will be on the bridge when they get back.
But she was on the bridge there already.
I
But
know that.
coming through the time portal vagina thing with the
I know that.
smegma and the
I
that's
know that.
all.
I think they'll get to the bridge. They'll be like, but Girardi's not here. And then she'll be like, yes, I am, Picard. And then we'll see
Help me,
BJ.
Picard. Yeah, because that was the first. That was the whole setup of the first episode, right? Was
The
they're
whole
like they're
setup of
calling for
this,
you, Picard.
yes, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Whole setup of this series.
But did we forget about Q? How's that
Q's
going
gonna
to tie up the Q loose ends? The
Q's gonna
Q's
be the one that's
ends.
got to get him back because they don't got the ship anymore.
My
Borg
God.
Queen is booking it to the Delta Quadrant, so he's going to use his last breath of snippety snapping power
Mhm.
to bring them back, and he'll be like, "I did it all for you, Picard. Now go fuck Laris." And the Borg will join the Federation under President Girardi, and
And they will somehow make it have 0 consequences, and he'll bring Elnor back to finish things off.
that's right. Girardi will be gone, but Elnor will be there. And why like Rafi's redeemed, even though she is a universally sized piece of shit. And I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with Soong. I don't know what they're going to do with Soji. I don't know what they're going to do with Renee. And yeah, maybe he's saying that one Renee has to die. Maybe that means you got to restore the timeline where Robert and Renee burn in the fire. Maybe it's a pun. I wonder if that's who Renee is named after.
I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
Random lore thing. This, I am not. I mean, with Discovery, I have like this little bit of genuine curiosity. With this series, I don't. I have a little bit of morbid curiosity, but it's so bad. It's so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be real weird how we resolve this because we're not even back there yet. Like we've got one episode left to get back and then figure out what the fuck was happening at the end and then resolve that. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. But as long as Rios gets a little piece of Latina tang, I think we can all nod our heads and say, well done.
Yeah, I just want him to get it in the future. I want her to be on the bridge of La Serena when they go back. I mean, not La Serena, the Stargazer.
Nah, they're not gonna get. I think your worst fears are coming true. I think they're gonna have him stay in the past.
And then there's going to be like delivered to random ass middle of nowhere space 2421, and Picard's going to get like a brown envelope with
Rios is
Rios's like
alive
his
in
lighter or something.
1885.
Oh God, please do that. It'll be like his big lighter. Did you see this thing?
I liked it when he came back and shot the guy. He's like, "You're welcome, Picard." I'm like, Rios, I like you, but don't be a dickhead.
Yeah. And of course, even Star Trek is not immune to villains standing around talking too long instead of just shooting people.
Mm-hmm.
I loved him. I loved him tossing that gun up, and every one of them flinched the exact same way. Did you notice that?
No.
Oh, go back and watch. They all flinched the exact same way, the exact same timing and everything.
Oh, you're talking about when it was cued to
Yeah, when
like
it blew up.
I forgot about God, this is such a oh my God, it's a buffet of fecal matter. You just go from one end to the next, just slopping it all on your plate. I don't know what to say. So do you think they'll put Rios and Girardi back on the bridge even though they're going to stay in the past? As I said, I didn't think Girardi would be on the bridge, but
No, Rios won't be back either.
So neither one of them will be on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
They can promote Eleanor to be captain. Why not?
No, Elnor will be with the Kuwait militia because this is fixed Rafi, and so
Oh, and Rafi won't be a piece of shit.
yeah,
No,
she won't be a piece of shit.
that's not possible.
Yeah, no, it's Seven will be captain because she would make such a great captain.
Oh, you're right. That one was so telegraphed. We shouldn't have missed that. Seven will be captain. Rafi will be Una, right? Elnor will be in the Kuwait militia.
What if Eleanor was back on the bridge and he just like fell over because he's a corpse? It's like he goes back to the exact same place, but still dead.
Girardi won't be there because she's going to be the Borg queen, and then
Rios won't be there, but he'll be like
there'll
they'll
be
go back and look up
a
his and
manila
Teresa's
envelope.
son.
Yeah.
No, it'll be something stupid like the helmsman will be like Cristobal Rios the Fourth, Rios Ramirez the Fourth, or some bullshit.
Oh God.
Mm.
And
Okay.
it'll be like my father was a senator who abolished ICE, or my grandfather was the senator who abolished ICE, some shit like that.
No, they'll allow the Borg to immigrate to the Federation, and it'll be something like, we offer you amnesty based on the Rios Ramirez Act of 2026.
Oh boy.
I hate this show.
I don't know why. This was a dandy.
All right, here's my good. Here's my good, and I can't believe I'm saying this. If you had told me I was going to say this beginning of the season, I would have called you a goddamn liar. I guess this is my season arc, because the best part of the show is goddamn Girardi. And like, it makes me physically ill to say this. Because if you remember, like the first couple episodes, I was like, I think I hate Girardi more than any non-Tilly character in the entire Star Trek universe. Maybe even more than Tilly. I think the Pat Benatar thing and the dress and the titties,
Turned
kind
you.
of it sent me veering off course a little bit. I mean, there's nothing more interesting than what she's got going on with the Borg Queen. And as stupid as it is, I mean, at least it's something interesting that could shake up the status quo and could. And she acted well. So yeah, wow. My good is Girardi. Jesus Christ. Willie, let me go with Warden. I think I asked you first about Jessica Warden. What's your good for the episode?
I I don't know. I guess I have to crib off of you. I thought that Girardi, especially the Girardi Queen stuff, I found her quippiness actually amusing. And I thought I thought Pill kind of acted her ass off. So yeah, I'll give her. I'll reinforce what you said. I thought that she did that would be my good.
Oh, I do have to undermine what I said because I forgot this. You didn't assimilate people to conquer. You assimilated them because you were lonely. Like, bitch, how many people you assimilated trillions? Like, at some point, I don't know. Don't you feel that void? I did think that was kind of dumb. The whole rationale of you always lose because you do this is one thing, but you are only doing it because you're lonely is.
Maybe what Girardi's gonna do is just fly around and capture all the Borg who are just floating around in space from being vented out of the Borg cube.
That is a great callback, Willie. But most of them probably want to be de-assimilated. So,
Oh
which I don't
well.
know why. I don't know why Seven ever wanted to be de-assimilated because the way she was talking about it, she was like, "It's the best fucking thing. It's like orgasming 24/7." It's like nothing you could give me would ever come close, Rafi. You piece of shit. I'm like, well, that's probably true. So, Willie, I know that in general this was a good episode, but if you did have to pick something, relatively speaking, is bad, what's your pick?
Relatively speaking, that was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, can my bad and good be the same thing?
I don't. Yeah, fuck it. The writers don't care. I'm not gonna work hard on this show. So
Like, I love nothing more than when a character is created simply to be nefarious. And Brent Spiner is just having a fucking ball right now with what he's doing. Like, this is some of the best overacting I've seen since Liar Liar. Like, I mean, we're going all out. Like, I mean, we take a far muddier path. And then like his little diabolical laugh when he finds the secret entryway, like, oh man. It's both the good and the bad. Um but no, the bad is just at some point I guess the bad is that we don't actually know what the arcs are anymore, right? It's what's the primary conflict of this season? Was it
dude,
the board coming through?
I don't know a goddamn thing
Was
about
it
what
It's
the school
Picard's
plan.
inner conflict.
it's hell, I didn't even realize until this episode that his mom had red hair because the color is like the camera work's been so fucked up. Like this whole episode looked like the last season of Game of Thrones for the first 40 minutes.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't see anything.
Uh-huh.
It was I guess the bad for me is I just don't see how we are supposed to follow what's going on. It just seems so disjointed from episode to episode and from scene to scene, right? But
What if Q's? We've all been talking about how Q's goal was to get Picard to finally fuck Laris. But what if it's more nefarious than that? What if he knows that Laris is into like autoerotic asphyxiation, and so like he starts fucking her, and she starts like wrapping a cord around her neck, and it gives him a heart attack and kills him, and then it's just Jean-Luc and Q in the afterlife, like, Q, you're a dick. What'd you think, Jean-Luc? She's a firecracker, huh?
I just didn't want to be lonely.
allow me to introduce you to my friends, Parka and Loros. Parka and Oros.
It's so bad. It's so bad. We got one episode left to put it all together and fuck
So,
Laris, and I just
so do you
don't.
think that's gonna be like the '80s freeze frame? Is like he's gonna like give her the big kiss at the end, and then it's gonna freeze, and Judd Nelson's gonna put his hand up, and like that's gonna be the end of the season.
Sure. I
He's
I
gonna
don't.
have to kiss her or do something, right?
Yeah.
He's got to dip his wick somewhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, yes. I think Picard being able to connect with Laris is a key theme or arc or whatever you want to call it of this season. If he doesn't, I'm gonna be very fucking confused about why she was even in it and why uh what's her face, not Laris, looked like Laris.
Talon.
Alan. Not like a Romulan Star Empire joke. Don't they have the? You know what? Never
It's
mind. I don't want to nerd out.
Tallinn. Talon.
Yeah, this season is a doozy.
God, I won't. Okay, all right. Let's stop talking about it.
Yeah, we're gonna keep circling our tail here.
I mean, I could just repeat different ways that this season is terrible for like another 40 minutes if no one stops me. So, Star Trek Picard season 4, episode 9, Hangman. Moving on to Strange New Worlds season 1, episode 9, titled Not All Those Who Wander. And I saw that that was the title, and I could be wrong. I think that's from The Hobbit, right?
Yeah.
Not all those who wander are lost. Not
Yeah.
all those. I was like, okay, so we're referencing a nice little children's book. This should be a very lighthearted episode.
No.
This
No.
was Star Trek meets Aliens meets Alien 3 meets Jurassic Park meets Predator meets something else. Jesus Christ. Boy,
Yeah. Yeah, they threw a lot at us.
the beauty of episodic storytelling, I guess, is you could have basically a different genre each episode if you want. And I think this
Precisely.
could have
Yeah.
been the survival horror episode. So this one starts out with a little bit of a party. Pike's cooking because Uhura's
He's the
getting
badass.
her promotion, and
And Ensign MacGuffin gets promoted.
yeah, and he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and Lieutenant Duke and Ensign Chicha, I know you're wearing gold and I know you're wearing blue, but I got a nice red shirt for both of you. They're like, congratulations. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna bite it.
They're so dead.
I actually said Donnie was sitting. I mean, Toaster was sitting over here at the computer, doing his thing, and I'm watching this, and oh, that fucker's dead. He's like, what?
Mhm.
Oh yeah. He was so dead.
I mean, like,
They actually threw me a curve though,
they might
because
as well have had him said, had them say, you know, only 2 more weeks to your retirement. This is the last hurrah. It's one little mission.
they threw me a curve though, because I thought as over the top as Sam Kirk was being the whole episode. I'm like, oh, this fucker's dead. I was like, he's gonna eat it.
I was waiting for him to say, "Game over, man," because he was channeling Bill Paxton. Is that the guy's name? The annoying Earp brother
Yeah.
from
Morgan Earp.
but Morgan Earp in space. He was an alien, right? Isn't he the one that's like, "Game over, man"?
He was an alien. I don't remember which one though.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so we promote our red shirts, and then we're taking fuel rods to K7, and they're like, "Oh, we've got a distress call from a summer class some ship, the Falcon, the Peregrine Falcon,
Peregrine.
Falcon, and
It's a Sombra class, which I had never heard of.
Well, it's because it's
neither had
exactly
I.
like a Constitution class.
Yeah.
And Himmer's like, "Oh, I know that." It's like they use all the same sets as Constitution, so we should be fine inside. Won't even have to move the cameras. So they put everybody that I guess should be going on the shuttle, and Pike makes some, some just incredibly dad jokes. And they get there, and people are slaughtered. And because they do the recap, and it was a very lawn heavy recap talking about the Gorn, we know pretty much right away it's the Gorn. We've got 3 survivors. Very similar, I think, to the way Alien starts, right? You got like a little girl, and you got 2 others.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we get chest bursters. Like,
Mhm.
holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
One of them starts singing, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl." No, they don't
Oh
do that.
no, not again.
I'll have the cleavage. And then so we're into the survival horror part of it all.
Mm-hmm.
The sensors aren't working for some reason, but we figure out we start counting that a lot of the people are dead, and
Outside. They're all outside.
they're all
Dead.
outside. They're all dead, and so we start trying to get power back, and it's it's. I mean, it's
It was
a
kind of
pretty
Trekky for a little while there.
standard space survival horror type thing. I mean, I don't. It's been so long since I've seen Alien. It may not follow it beat for beat, but it follows it pretty hard. You've got a side of I feel like Jurassic Park because they kind of look like the Velociraptors hunting them,
Hmm.
and then they see in predator vision.
Mm-hmm.
But you also had the spitting corrosive venom like the aliens, or like the whatever the Jurassic Park dinosaur was that doesn't
The
Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus, yeah.
God, we're all nerds. And
Yes, we are. Almost equally just as nerdy
yeah,
to the millisecond.
yep. Turns out they're spitting a very, very different kind of protein though than
Yeah, it's a cum
with
shot.
with the welcome wagon.
Oh man.
And yeah, Sam Kirk goes crazy.
Yells
Does
at
the game
Spock.
over, man. Spock and Chapel have another
Green-blooded
moment.
Vulcan.
Yeah, he
Channels as
he does a
McCoy.
really weird McCoy channeling thing. Like okay.
They're in the trash chute though, because Princess Leia blasted a hole in it and jumped down there.
And then Spock and Chapel's like, Spock, get angry. It can be
You
powerful.
gotta get angry.
You've got to
You gotta
tell
get
these
angry.
aliens.
You wouldn't like me when I'm
mad
angry.
as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore. And so Spock says, "Let the rage in my mind grow my balls," or something like that.
Yeah.
And,
Gonna open Pandora's box.
and yeah, then and then he's like a killing machine. No, anybody comes
Yeah.
near him, he's like he's
You
like
know,
Reginald. What's his name? Carl Winslow at the end of Die Hard. Like once he pulls his gun out, he like refuses
just
to.
can't
Once he
stop.
pulls it
Yeah.
out, he's like shooting everybody. Bruce Willis has to be like, "Rein it in, buddy."
Yeah.
Um,
So, I'm a little fuzzy on Gorn physiology here, but I feel like they mature really fast.
that's what makes
Um,
him so dangerous, Willie.
and we won't even survive against one adult Gorn.
Oh, I forgot. We also did the Terminator 2 with the freezing him in liquid nitrogen and then breaking him apart, and then
Yeah.
Himmer did all but give him the thumbs up as he fell back into the
Yeah.
ravine, just
At
like
least, at
Antoria.
least they stayed away from them bursting out of him as he fell.
That would be 2 Alien 3.
That would be 2 Alien 3.
Um. So yeah, Himmer.
We
They
also
they
had a
saved the day.
little bit of Highlander action there that worked on our side because in the end there could be only one. So,
Oh yeah, among the Gorn, they'll grow,
clever
they'll fight.
girl. Yeah.
Clever gal. Uh the plan. They come up with a plan to fight it, and it works perfectly. Actually, the there's no monkey in the wrench there. The big problem is that Himmer's not feeling, and Lon's weird. She's like, "Yep, that's how they get you." I'm like,
I guess she knew, yeah. But she didn't bother tell anybody. But she knew.
couldn't tell if she was supposed to have known or not. Because I went back and watched it a second time because I was like, wait, what? Did she? Is she just figuring this out now, or did she already know it? And it's if she was supposed to have been just figuring it out, she did not act that scene very well because it's not evident. But
Yeah.
if she already knew, that's kind of fucked up.
Well, I thought there was one I thought there was a comment somewhere in the episode about how like the eggs will stay dormant until they come back to like harvest their young. And so I thought I thought she knew that he must have been infected because she knew that that would have been he was because there's like a scene where she's talking to him, was like, Hammer, you good with this? He goes, "Yep, I understand the plan here." I thought they kind of were using him as bait because
Oh wow!
they knew that the Gorn would would kind of seek him out because he was the young.
God damn, that makes her colder than an Andorian windstorm.
It's just like Andoria.
I feel it on my taint. So then we go back
and,
up
and,
to.
and the sensations on his taint are more than the average man.
I know my own body, or whatever he said. And so then we
My body, my choice.
Oh God, Gorn did not ask for consent,
No, they did not.
so we froze the fuckers and beat him with a tire iron.
I'll tell you what, though, Ensign Doctor or Cadet Doctor did not last long. I mean, how quickly did those things kill her? Like within a second.
I couldn't. It looked like they jumped out of the dude's chest and into her ocular cavity, whatever your eyeball hole is.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit! That came out like a shot from a fucking gun and just
There
went on. Good thing Chapel hopped up on her nursing table and enacted the cone of silence or whatever the fuck it was.
Got a little Mass Effect Grogan action though in that alien too. That was kind of what he reminded me of.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it looked weird. Oh, you're talking about the one that was? Oh, yes, it did. Yes, it did. The not the Gorn, the alien that was carrying
the random
larva.
alien. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it did. So anyway, we tow the Peregrine away, and we have a funeral, and we're like, we'll miss Himmer and these other two fucking assholes that nobody's gonna say anything about. And
did this kind of feel like a season finale to you?
Yes.
Because Lon leaves. Uhura decides to stay.
Yeah. And Himmer dies.
Himmer dies, yeah. I mean, it's definitely felt like a season finale. It kind of makes you wonder, like, what they're going to do next episode. You know, they kind of wrapped everything up in a bow. Unless they just unless they're trying to do like a season-ending cliffhanger.
They're gonna walk out of the holodeck and be like, "Whoa, that Gorn simulation was scary."
No, I don't think they're gonna do that.
I don't think they'll do that either. Isn't it crazy how the recap on Strange New Worlds takes like 1/10 of the time of the other two pieces of shit?
I'll be watching Picard and I'll be 14 minutes in before the cold open is over, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You mean we haven't seen the opening credits yet? So they just go just straight in, you know, and still don't accomplish anything. But
and they have the benefit of not having to give you a setup every week because it's a season long. It's a serialized storytelling. It's like you should be able to jump right in. But goddamn, they take their time. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's Picard's bad. I'm talking about how bad Picard is in the recap for Strange New Worlds. Warden, you were not crazy about last week's episode. What did you think about this one?
I thought it was all right. I mean, it's not the best episode of the season, but I mean, it was exciting and energetic in its way. I have not seen all of the sci-fi horror movies that you all have seen, so but everything in it was tropey, but not unpleasantly so. Trying to think if there's, I mean, everything kind of hung together reasonably logically, and there were a couple good character moments. I was fine with it.
Willie, what'd you think?
come back to me.
All right. Well, I'll try to give you a good and a bad. Since that is the theme of this show, the good, the bad, and the hubris. The for the bad, I hate it when they introduce characters to kill them, and it's like telegraphed from the beginning. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The good. I really liked. It's really easy when you have a character that is supposed to be, cold and logical and not emotional. It's really easy to when you go with a story that makes them suddenly lose control to make it be just silly and cringeworthy. And I really liked. I thought, even though I made fun of it, I thought the line that he said was cool. Like, "Let the rage in my let the rage in my mind into my heart," or
Yes.
vice versa.
So yeah, that.
I thought that was cool, and then I thought the little thing when he had to leave the funeral, like, and you could just see him like clenching his fist, just like how angry he still was.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that. I really liked Spock in Chapel. I know it would completely fuck with canon for them to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
be an item, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? At this point, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
We have
fuck
so
canon.
we have so thoroughly pissed over the grave of old Star Trek that I'm just kind of like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. If it's good, just make an alternate timeline at this point. So I guess that's my pick for bad and good. Willie, you got thoughts?
Um, I mean, I was okay with the episode. I mean, admittedly, it seemed lighthearted after watching Picard's mom hang herself. Um,
That's
but
true. It involved chest bursting aliens and was not the darkest Star Trek we watched this week.
uh, no, it was like I said, it did feel like it was maybe a tad derivative, like you said, of a lot of different IPs out there. But you know what? They've obviously they had been setting up for some kind of Gorn interaction episode all season, right? And we finally
Yeah.
got it, and it wasn't terrible, right? I mean, they pretty much teed it up that it was like a nightmarish interaction to ever be involved with the Gorn, and so they kind of had to make it pretty, pretty dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Um, Lon got her little redemption arc because she knew enough about him to basically save everybody. Thought it was kind of weird that she decided just to go off to try and deliver this little girl. That was, I don't really know how that's gonna. I mean, are they just writing her out of the show?
I don't know, but it makes sense for a character. I mean, I will
It
say
made
this:
sense for her character, but
the
it was
last two
just,
episodes, starting with Doctor Bongo, and then carrying over with Himmer and uh, on this episode, they're kind of tying, wrapping up those characters' arcs for the season.
yeah,
Himmer, he had made the statement about, he fixes what's broken, and he had kind of developed that bond with Uhura, and Uhura was kind of talking about, feeling like she didn't. I don't think she specifically said she was feeling broken, but you can infer it, especially from when she said, that he fixes what is broken. I think she meant largely, her.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Um, and how he talked about Andorians believe, that they serve their purpose and then they leave the world or leave this galaxy, whatever.
yeah.
And I certainly think that this was a good kind of ending to La'an's arc because she's been kind of dealing with that trauma of being that sole survivor, not having anyone to turn to afterwards, and this kind of gives her. She got to kill one of her enemies and face that fear again and defeat it, and now
Hmm.
she gets a chance to return a survivor to their family the way that she, obviously wasn't able to. So, I
Yeah,
guess in that sense, there's still, you know, you said it feels like a season finale, and I agreed with you. But I guess in the same sense, it also feels like they're kind of wrapping up characters' arcs as we wind the season down. So
Yeah,
there are still other characters to do that with.
I see where you're both coming with that, and I agree. I think it is telling that there's one episode left, and there's also one fairly significant character whose season arc has not been addressed yet. Pikes.
Yeah, we won't address that until the show's running out of viewership.
Oh no! I think I mean, given the pattern of this show, they may actually take some time to do something interesting with Pike in the season finale, especially since they didn't know if this was going to be. I don't think this was renewed until it was well through the season.
Yeah,
maybe so.
So yeah, no,
I mean, you still got Pike's thing hanging out there. You got Scott and Pringle Tingle out there. Nurse Chapel. Let's see who else.
Yeah, this could be the way that they end Spock and Pringle. Because, obviously they don't survive through to the TOS era. And it could be that his emotion, in his emotional state, he tells her that he doesn't really have a thing for her. But, it could be, you don't think we'd bring back Cybok for the end, do you?
I was just thinking that. I don't think we will. I could be wrong, but I don't think that we will. I think we just teased it enough to know that he's going to be a part of the show. But we could.
I mean, I don't even know that that's necessarily has to lead anywhere. That could very well literally just be a, remember this guy? Huh? And and then they drop it.
Yep, yeah, they'll meet again in Star Trek 5.
Right, yeah. That's true. Yeah. But I digest.
I'm very, very interested. It's funny because this is the episodic format.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a season-long arc per se to wrap up, but I'm so much more interested in this season finale than the other two.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is it's just a better show. But the other part is, I care about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Minus Ortega. I don't like her that much. So this will probably be a Ortega-heavy episode next. I really liked Timmer.
I did too.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good character.
So it'll be interesting to see who's the chief engineer.
I was about to say, maybe we had to pave the way for Scotty.
Nah, I don't think they'll pull in Scotty yet. I doubt it.
I don't know.
I mean, why not? You're pulling in other people.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
So, well, but like I
maybe
said,
it'll be like Sam Kirk. It'll be Scotty, but it'll be different Scotty.
It'll be
Birmingham Scott,
Mobile Scott.
Scott.
You went north, I went south. Huh? But like I said, I thought it was a good episode. I don't have a whole ton of bad, other than, like I said, maybe a bit derivative and a little bit out of the standard Star Trek style. But I mean, fuck, we've been watching Disco for 4 seasons and Picard for 2. I can't really complain about being out of the Star Trek style. Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of felt like when Star Trek does action, this kind of feels like it didn't feel that.
It felt more like a feature film than a Star Trek episode. Like this was like a First Contact.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Than an episode.
What if the chief engineer is Rios? Like Rio stays the
Or
past of Picard, and then it's like
or
his
Corey.
grandson.
Maybe it's
Oh
Corey.
my god! Like what the fuck is Corey or Sojay or whatever? Are her and Soon coming back next? I don't want to talk about Picard anymore. Why did you do that so bad? All right. So between Disco and the show that shall not be named, which one are y'all most interested in seeing the final episode of the season finale?
Of those two?
Yeah, but just between those two.
Oh, it's got to be Disco.
I mean, I agree. I said that
I'll
earlier.
give it to Disco.
I mean, I'll hand it to Disco. I'm not quite sure how they're gonna. I mean, granted, it's going to be a happily ever after
Of
because,
course.
but I don't 100% know they're gonna. I mean, there's bits and pieces of it that might surprise me. They have the potential to surprise me if they choose to do something interesting. Picard's just going to be like, just make it stop so I can watch season 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think despite all of Disco's tomfuckery over the last few seasons, like they've at least set something up that's worth watching. The next episode. It's been a slog and very begrudgingly done for almost the entirety of the show. But when I finished this episode off, and Warden had said, "Hey, why don't we just do 6 episodes this week because we're masochists?" I get what he was saying. Like I kind of when I finished that one, I kind of said, "Hey, I kind of want to see what happens next." So
Yeah, I may watch Disco early in the week this week.
that's always my first one: Disco, then Picard, then Strange New Worlds.
Well, I mean, yeah, I do that too because I need Strange New Worlds to be my palate cleanser after those two. All
But
right.
hey, look. Here's the deal. I'm willing to give Disco the good this week. I'm not going to give it to
Okay.
Picard.
I'm not
And
willing to go that far, but
I
So
am
okay,
willing.
so Willie's choice for the good is Discovery.
Yep, I'm gonna give it to him. I think, like I said, despite the tomfuckery, they and believe me, it was still an episode of Discovery. And when I watched it the second time, those elements of Discovery that piss us off were even more glaring. But because it felt like a Star Trek episode, I had legitimate compliments to give it. I feel like it earned it.
That's
This
fair.
is so I'm gonna give it the good.
So what's your pick for the bad?
Well, the bad's still gonna be Picard. It was terrible. And it is with great dismay that I have to give Strange New Worlds the Hubris because I thought that was still thought that was a very good episode. I really like Kimmer. Thought it was a good farewell to him. But unfortunately for this episode, it just wound up having to fall into the hubris. Because I've wanted every week, despite what I sound like when we do these shows, every week I wanted to give something else the good. And I think I did one week.
I know I gave Picard the good.
I gave Picard the good when he was a space Nazi.
Yeah, I want to say I did then, and I gave Disco the good one other time. I think there have been twice I've gone against Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
But
I've so wanted to do it, and this is my week to do it, I feel like.
well, you got the final episode. You know how Disco sticks the landing, so. Warden,
Oh man.
yeah,
well, give us your good. and bad.
Yeah. Good as Strange New Worlds, bad as Picard, for all of the reasons that have already been said. I mean, I have legit reasons why Disco, other than just by default, why I have Disco as the Hubris. I'm going there mainly because, yes, it was a halfway decent, somewhat Star Trek-y episode, and my hubris, the reason that is a hubris for me, is they chose now. They've had
Well,
4
better late than
fucking
never.
That's
seasons.
what I was gonna say. Better late than never. But I was gonna do it in the
She says the
Cheech
Titanic
Marin.
just arrived.
Better late than never. Oh, that's not a
movie's
great movie, but it's so much better than.
better.
I mean, it's solid. I don't want to knock Ghostbusters 2, but you know.
It's
No,
definitely a
Ghostbusters
sequel.
1.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely a sequel. In the bad sense. All right.
Where did you derail us from? We were making progress there, and you had to say something, didn't you, Joe Bob?
Did I fuck that up, or was it somebody else? It could have been me. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it was Warden talking about why did Disco just now decide to make a Star Trek episode, and then we got on the better late than never
Oh
tangent.
yeah. So Warden fucked us up.
Oh yeah, that was entirely my fault. Oh yeah, I mean, Strange New Worlds was, I enjoyed it, and honestly, short of them just taking a just hard fucking left, it would be very hard for me not to pick them as the good. And Picard was just bad. It was just.
Look, I think we all know that Picard is the bad. I mean, it's terrible. It's a hard one for me because, like, I really hate to give Strange New Worlds the hubris on it. Not give them the good when so much happened. It's Himmer's farewell episode, and just like I thought they did a really good take on Run Silent, Run Deep. The submarine warfare, all the submarine warfare movies up around October earlier in the season.
Mhm.
Actually, I think the first time they faced the Gorn, that was a Gorn episode too, right?
Mhm.
Wasn't it?
It was.
I thought this was a pretty good take on the survival horror, the space survival horror, and it's hard for me to give Disco the good because, like I said, even though the A plot was good, everything else was stupid. Oh, so. And I can see how you could say Strange New Worlds is the hubris because it borrowed a lot, a lot from predecessors in the genre. But I think that was intentional. I think it was just lots of tips of the cap to classics. I'm gonna go with Willie. I'm gonna say good is just good.
He can't
No,
even say it.
Nope. I'm not. I'm not. I'm gonna say Strange New Worlds is good because I would want to watch this episode again, and even though there were decent parts of Discovery, I think it would piss me off even more to watch it a second time.
Well, I can tell you, it absolutely pisses you off to watch it more the second time. But the parts that I said were good were still good. It was just all the other shit that I missed. Like I said, like Colbert just bebopping up into engineering and be like, hey, I see a comm pen sitting underneath this floor panel down here. We should probably check it out. It's just like, what? But how did you see that? Nobody else noticed it. Furthermore, How's there not like a constant roster check going on from Zora? But I'm sorry. Yes, it pisses you off more the second time you watch it, so don't pull at that thread. But
All right, well, there you have it.
I'm
Star
calling
Trek.
my shot right now. If Tarka gets back with Oros, I'm giving Disco the hubris next week. And Picard and Strange New Worlds can fight it out for the other 2 rankings.
There's zero chance that happens.
Okay.
I would say there's zero chance it happens in a clear and unambiguous way.
I think they'll be flicking back Tarka's hair before the sun sets.
Oh my god. I hope they bring back Jacob. All I want. We brought Non back. Let's bring back Jacob. Take a victory lap. Disco's greatest hits. Victory lap's a strong word, but you know. All right, well, we'll be back next week with the final episode of sheer fucking hubris season, whatever we're on. I guess it's our 4th season.
Yep.
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 With the finale.
Did we even finish season 3 though? Didn't we just stop?
Well, I mean,
I don't think we finished it, did we?
it ground to a halt due to technical difficulties.
Okay.
We recorded all of it. It just
and then
Oh,
the child,
yeah.
and then the child screamed and it annihilated it. God, fuck me. How stupid can you be? I mean, say what you will about. I mean, even the finale, even the stretch run of Picard, it's not that fucking stupid. And I mean, this season Disco is a goddamn Sistine Chapel compared to last season. Sistine Chapel, man, that makes me think of Nurse Chapel.
We
She's
haven't
so
finished
hot.
it yet. Haven't finished it yet.
Jesus.
Here's the thing, Willie. It would take you intentionally writing something so terrible that I don't think they have the skill to do it. To top season 3. Like, it's one thing to accidentally create something shitty, but to be like, okay, pressure's on. One episode, you have got to write something that is shittier than the way you ended season 3. Pressure's on. I think they would fail. I think they would fail hard. I mean, that's tough. So it'll be better.
We shall see.
I mean, I've been wrong before. Like I said, my favorite goddamn part of Picard is Jurati. So, All right. Well, looking forward to it. Warden, hit it. Don't make me turn this wagon around or shuttle or whatever the fuck it is.
This is Biblio Warden, Joe Bob, and Mr. Willie signing off.